And we're back. We're going to react to something. And what we're going to react to keep it even more meta, is me. From 10 years ago. Before we go on, I should give some context. Actually, I think it's funnier if we don't. Communist music. That's a great start. That's a really great start. Oh my god. Context here is 10 years ago, when I was a young and very, with a very head full of a lot of hair student, I ran for what is called an NUS delegate position at my student union. And that's basically, in the UK, we have a national student body called the National Union of Students, which is basically a federation of all the student unions at all the individual campuses, and has a conference every year, and every union sends delegates, and I ran to be one of them. And I didn't like the NUS. I thought it was a joke. I thought that a bunch of left-wingers would run in that election, and I could run as the joke left-winger who promised a bunch of things that you're about to see that I really did not mean. Unfortunately, everyone else dropped out, and I was the only left-winger in the race. And so when students at my university logged into their voting website, they saw this.
If you want to see an NUS that campaigns for a communist revolution, storming the mansions of the rich and powerful, and taking that wealth for ourselves.
In the background, you can see the poster that I had for the election. I just had like a raised fist. It just says communism will win.
I'm running to be your delegate to your national...
Nobody knew what I was talking about. What is the NUS? I didn't explain it. I just said, I'm going to be a delegate. What does that mean?
I'm running to provide you with a genuine choice in this election between the current NUS, which focuses on general election campaigns and Spotify accounts, and my vision of the NUS. An NUS that supports...
I had so much hair. Go to a gosh darn barber, Elle, for goodness sake.
Free education. An NUS that pushes forward an agrarian reform program.
Okay. Hear me out. Let them cook. All right, okay, let them cook. Let's see where this is going.
An NUS that truly understands the imperative of communist revolution.
Yeah, I should have known that's where it was going.
I'm running on a clear platform of student welfare. A vote for me is a vote for an NUS that campaigns for a free cat or kitten for every student that wants one.
Very realistic, Elle. Well done.
NUS must also push for the abolition of tuition fees because education is a right and not a privilege.
Classic politician. Just throw in a promise that you actually want right next to something that grabs people's attention so they don't notice it. It's just like, yeah, I'm going to give a cat to everyone. Also, I support the abolition of tuition fees. By the way, if you vote for me, you're endorsing that. Very clever. Also, very strange.
My most imperative priority, though, is agrarian reform. The NUS must campaign for vegetables to be grown on all available university land, and for the university fat cats and bureaucrats to be sent out to work that land to bring in the harvest for students while redistributing that wealth to underfunded departments.
Yeah, I've got to be honest here. This policy was just straight up nicked. Like, I stole this. I did not come up with something this funny. There was a guy who ran for president of Birmingham University Students' Union, I think in like 2011, I'm going to say.
Hi, my name's Jack Kearns. I'm a 22-year-old undergrad philosophy student running for president. I have to apologise for the way I'm dressed. I was doing a bit of building work on a house and lost track of time. First, I had to establish myself as CEO of the Guild, as the current CEO works for the university, and subvert the trustee board, and then we can actually have a fighting union. Secondly, we need to get rid of all this like health and safety policy, which is just a waste of time. We don't need a risk assessment to hold a cinema event. We're not children, let's be honest. And then last of all, what's most important is agrarian reform.
My most imperative priority, though, is agrarian reform.
Very, very logical campaign idea there. Have a giant vegetable patch and then just require all of the staff to work it as part of their contract. You definitely would not have a staff retention rate of like 1% if you did that. Again, I'm not sure, like, I know I stole these ideas, but I'm not sure how many of them I meant, how many of them, like, I thought were just hilarious jokes. The cat thing, that was definitely serious.
This has been a short video. but the struggle for a communist vegan utopia will be long.
No, it's not been short, Al. This has been extremely long and torturous for me.
And the NUS must play an important part in this revolutionary struggle.
The thought of the NUS being involved in a revolutionary struggle. Wow.
You want to see an NUS that campaigns for a communist revolution, storming the mansions of the rich and powerful, and taking that wealth for ourselves.
Wow. I had no filter. That part was definitely a joke. It's just a picture of a fist. Oh my god. Oh god. I don't know whether to laugh or cry. This is so... this is something.
Using it to fund tuition fees and a cap for every student, they knew exactly who to vote for on the 27th to the 29th of November 2013. Vote for Elliot Folan of Communism and Cats.
Let's play the Russian national anthem again. Did I win? I did. There were 4 places. I got the third. I believe I came third in votes. I got 15% of first preferences, rising to about 20% after final preferences were counted in. About 150 people voted for me to represent them at this national conference, which meant I had to go. I did try and get my policies into our list of motions, and our union council just voted down all of them, which I think is really sad. I had a mandate from the people on the same election week. There was a referendum on whether or not to ban a song from our club in the student union. There were all these talks. There's the cancel. It's some controversy that nobody remembers at this point. This is 10 years ago, but we had a referendum on whether to ban a song. And ironically, I actually argued in our council against holding a referendum. In the event, I think that a lot of normies flooded into this referendum to vote against banning the song. It was a landslide victory against banning the song, unsurprisingly. And I think they just were logged in, saw the other election, thought, hey, let's take a look. And then they saw me and they were like, what? That meant I had to go to the conference several months later, and that was interesting. I had a terrible time. I decided, hey, you know what? I'm going to run again. That time I did not win. Thank you for watching. I'll have more conventional content in the weeks to come, but I thought this would be a good way of getting back in the game. Love you. And remember, communism will win.